A farmer in Nebraska couldn't afford a plow. Then one company changed everything. It's 1897. Richard Warren Sears sits in his office in Chicago, staring at a problem that will reshape American consumer life. His mail-order catalog has exploded. Thousands of customers want his goods, but most of them can't pay all at once. So Sears does something radical. He makes it possible to buy now and pay later in installments. Within a decade, this single idea will turn ordinary people into debtors on a scale the country has never seen. Let's rewind. Before Sears, consumer credit barely existed. If you wanted something, you saved. You waited. You paid cash. The wealthy had access to credit. Merchants extended it to established customers. Banks loaned to property owners. But the average person, they lived within their means or they did without. That was the only option. Sears Roebuck wasn't the first mail-order house, but by the 1890s they'd become the largest. Their catalogs, these enormous books, sometimes over 1,000 pages, arrived in farmhouses and small towns across America. You could order a stove, a saddle, a sewing machine, even a house kit shipped by rail. The catalog was democracy in paper form, but there was a ceiling. Most customers simply couldn't afford the entire purchase price upfront. So Sears introduced the installment plan. Here's how it worked. You'd select an item from the catalog, send in your order, and Sears would ship it immediately. Then you'd pay in small, regular amounts, typically over 6 months to a year. No interest or minimal interest. No collateral required. Just a promise and a payment schedule. It sounds ordinary now. In 1897, it was revolutionary. What Sears understood, and this is the crucial insight, was that installment buying didn't create new demand. It accelerated existing demand. People already wanted these things. They'd been saving for years. Sears simply removed the delay. You could have the plow now, the stove now, the dress now. You'd pay for it over time, yes, but you wouldn't have to wait. The numbers tell the story. By 1910, Sears had normalized installment buying across America. Other retailers watched and copied. Furniture stores, appliance dealers, farm equipment companies, they all adopted the model. By the 1920s, installment credit had become the dominant way Americans purchased durable goods. What was radical in 1897 was ordinary by 1920. But here's where the story darkens. Installment buying changed the psychology of spending. You weren't saving for months anymore. You were experiencing the good now and deferring the pain of payment. Economists call this time-shifting consumption. We call it getting used to having things before you've finished paying for them. The mental math shifts. Suddenly, the monthly payment feels more real than the total cost. There's a small irony buried in this history. Sears marketed installment buying as liberating freedom from waiting, from deprivation, from the tyranny of delayed gratification. And it was, in a sense. But it also bound people to a new kind of obligation. You were no longer a saver storing up for the future. You were a debtor managing the present. The catalog became a permission slip to spend money you didn't yet have. By the Great Depression, installment debt had woven itself into American life so thoroughly that millions of people couldn't walk away from their payment obligations even as their incomes evaporated. Sears and other merchants had to make a choice: foreclose and destroy goodwill, or forgive debt and survive. Most chose survival, but the lesson was clear. Consumer credit could be a tool of liberation and a trap. What Sears invented, this invisible architecture of deferred payment, didn't disappear. It evolved. Credit cards, buy now, pay later apps, auto loans, mortgages, they are all descendants of Sears's innovation. The mechanism changed, but the principle remained. Shift the pain of payment into the future, and people will spend more today. Understanding this history matters because it shows you how consumer credit became normal. It wasn't imposed, it was invited. Sears solved a real problem. People wanted things they couldn't afford all at once. The installment plan was genuinely useful, but usefulness and risk aren't opposites. They coexist. The same mechanism that let a farmer buy a plow also created a system where people could spend beyond their means. That's what makes this story worth examining. Not to blame Sears, they were solving a problem, but to understand that every system of credit is a bet that you'll have income tomorrow to pay for what you want today. And that bet doesn't always pay off. When you see a BNPL ad or a 0% financing offer, you're seeing the great-great-grandchild of Richard Warren Sears's 1897 insight. The form changes, the underlying logic remains. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into how the systems we use every day were built and what they cost us. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.